Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Waking up, learning some English. Good on you for doing it. Hope you guys had a great weekend. November 20th on the calendar. Getting closer to holidays for me. I hope you guys, maybe you guys have some holidays coming up as well. I'm not sure, depending on what you guys have over there. But hope you guys are doing well. Let's do a few shout outs to everybody. Hello, Waleed. How you doing? Pilar. I see some old faces back again. Welcome back, guys. Oh, got questions already. When my ship comes in, maybe when there's an opportunity for you. I'm guessing when there's a good opportunity. Hello, Dude. Oh, great name, Dude. Hi, Dude. A few other people in the chat. Some new faces in the chat. Hello, everybody. Hope you guys are doing good, having a good day. So as usual, if you've had class with me before, you know I'll put the document in the chat. I'll put it in there one more time. So please grab that document, make a copy of it. So that's everything we're going to be working on today. And so without further ado, let's get to it. So if you guys were with us last week, we did a lot of work on adjectives and how to use adjectives. So this week we're gonna focus a little bit different. We're gonna look at adverbs, one particular type of adverb, and we're gonna look at how to use those in a sentence. So let's get into it. And let's throw this up here and make that a little bigger. Why is that? That's not what I want. Let's go here. Background. Let's see here. That's not working out the way I wanted it to. Let's see here. Aha. All right, here we go. So let's pop that up here. You'll see this wonderful story that someone has written about a little bear named Pooh. All right, so what I'd like you guys to do, maybe we'll read this story together, and then we'll get into it, and we're going to look at a few things. You can see there's a few things that are underlined in there, and we're going to look at what we're doing here, and we're going to look at a lot of different ways to use adverbs, and a little bit. We're going to look at kind of a bit about adjectives like we did last week, but we're also going to look at adverbs. So let's read this wonderful story about a magical little bear named Pooh. All right, so once there was, hello everyone. Hey, Ahmed, how you doing? Yeah, you're all late, little late, JB. Get in here. We're reading a story. It's story time right now, so please come on in for story time. Grab your blanket, grab your PJs, and your tea, and let's go. Once there was a little bear named Pooh. One day, Pooh was strolling means walking, happily through the forest when he saw his good friend Piglet. Of course, Piglet. Piglet was murdered. Oh, dear Lord, what happened? He was viciously killed with a large carrot. You know, it happens sometimes. Who could have done this horrible crime, he thought. Wow, I think I missed my calling. I think I should have been a kid's story creator or something here. Who could have done this horrible crime, he thought. Pooh walked nervously in circles. Then he heard a strange noise. He cautiously walked towards the sound. Suddenly he saw. Okay? So I've left it open. There might be some opportunities for you guys to finish this wonderful magical story on your own. So that's really quick. Normally we take a lot of time to kind of walk through this stuff and talk about it together. But what we're going to do today is we're going to go through and we're going to identify a few things, and then we're going to talk about the adverbs in this, a little bit about the adjectives and what they do and how we can use them in English. All right, so let's jump into this. This is probably the shortest warm-up I've had in a long time. So let's go here. So let's start with this question. First question is, what do adjectives do? And you can see I've kind of given you a part of the answer here. So I'd like you guys to take a look at that one right there where my finger disappeared right there. Take a look at that, and please finish that rule for us. Adjectives describe or modify what? Nouns. Thank you, Pilar. Awesome. So adjectives, we usually put them before. So if I wanted to make a sentence, he was a big, let's just use one. He was a fat man. Fat man, but a happy man. Awesome. That sounds like a good story. Okay, so again, we got my adjective here, which is fat, and we got another adjective, which is happy. Okay, boom and boom, and you got it right. We put it here, and this is the noun here. So we, of course, nouns, person, places, things, and we're going to put the adjectives before the noun. Now you don't need the noun all the time. You can just say he was fat, or he was fat and happy. You don't have to say he was a fat man, but sometimes we want to say that, right? Like Vancouver is a great place. I don't know, Brazilians. Brazil is an awesome place. I love Brazil. So you can use it to describe nouns, and sometimes you don't even need the noun. You can say he was happy, or he was a happy man, and they kind of describe the same idea, don't they? Okay, so next one, number 2. This is a little bit of review from last week. So if you guys were here last week, maybe you know these answers already. So which verbs do we usually use with adjectives? What kind of verbs? So actually, I've actually given you the answers. I shouldn't have done that. But we use I am, he is happy, he feels happy, he looks happy, he appears happy, he seems happy, he sounds happy. I'm sure I'm missing one, I think that we did last week. But all of these verbs are what kind of verbs? And I'll give you the answer just to save it. They're all sense verbs. So using your hand, using your ears, using your nose, those are all sense verbs. So we often use state verbs, thank you very much, as well. So he sounds happy, he looks happy, he seems happy. All of those work as well. So you can say I am, or he seems, or he seems, he feels, he sounds. All of those things work. And you can use taste as well. So I might as well add that one as well. Don't taste other people, but you can taste foods. All right, so we can also use that one as well. And I remember another one last week. I can't remember who it was, but they sold become. And yeah, of course, you can use become as well. So we have some verbs that we can use in this way before adjectives. Next one, take a look at this one here. What is the purpose of adverbs? And we're going to go back to the story and look at that amazing little story and what adverbs and how adverbs and adjectives were used in it. But what do adverbs do? Verb, adjective, adverbs too, yes. So, okay, no, you gave me the answer. Okay, so adverbs, what do? They modify. So modify, you can think of it, modify as change. Qualify is kind of interpret. I can't really explain it too well. But adverbs modify verbs. They modify adjectives. And they also modify other adverbs. Okay, so let me give you an example of each one. So you have adverbs modify or qualify verbs. Okay, walk slowly. Slowly is your adverb, right? Or really big. So really is your adverb, and big is your adjective. So sometimes you have that adjective and you put the adverb there. So really big, super big, incredibly big. So they modify adjectives. And the last one, sometimes they modify other adverbs. He walks very slowly. So again, adverb, adverb. Sometimes we can use two adverbs together, or we use an adverb and an adjective together, or we use a verb and an adverb. For example, walk quickly or quickly walk. All right, so those are all the things we can do. Awesome. And last one, this is what we're going to be working on today, adverbs of manner. So explaining certain things. What type of verbs do we usually use with adverbs of manner? So if I said quickly, energetically, enthusiastically, grumpily, any of those, what kind of verbs would we use? Because we're really going to connect adverbs to verbs today. What kind of verbs do you think we could use? Now, and then again, listen to some of the examples. So run quickly, walk slowly, speak carefully, drive carefully. What kind of verbs am I using? I'm using action verbs. Okay, so today we're going to look at connecting these adverbs of manner, quickly, slowly, carefully, to a verb. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So why don't we just do this? And maybe let's do this one before we do that. Why do we use adjectives and adverbs? We use them, well, we kind of answered that one already, so I think I'll just delete that. So adverbs, we use them to quantify or modify, and adjectives, we use them to describe nouns. So we kind of did that. So let's go back up here to this lovely little story. And can you please tell me, well, let's start with this one here. We have little. So again, and you know we did this already. So little is an adjective or an adverb. What is it? A little bear. So we have our noun, right? So what would it be? Adjective, adverb. I think you guys should have this, right? A little bear, a big bear, a happy bear. What would it be? This one would be an adjective. Thank you, Garima. You got it. Adjective points. Next one. Number 2. One day Pooh was strolling happily through the forest. Adjective or adverb? Adjective plus noun. Okay. Yeah, you're right about the first one. Little was the adjective. And how about this one? Adverb. Thank you, Bisma. Thank you, Judith. Thank you, Walid. You guys are all on. Okay, everybody knows. Everybody's got it right. And again, we kind of talked about this last week. You have to be careful sometimes, because sometimes these things are a little bit confusing, right? Last week we had a few. They look like adverbs, but they were actually adjectives only. So if you didn't see the video last week, I always tell you to go back and see what we did, because we try to connect these things as well. And you can see that this is generally an adverb because of the ILY, right? So if you look at all these here, it's pretty easy, right? Boom, adverb. Another one here, boom, adverb. Okay, and boom, adverb. Oh, and there's one more. Okay, so you can see all of those are adverbs, right? So we're going to focus on one kind of adverb today, and that's this kind, which are adverbs of manner. And manner means behavior, so how something happens, quickly, slowly, carefully. Okay, so that's exactly, we're really going to focus on that. We did the adjectives last week, so we're really going to focus on adverbs in writing this time. Okay, so let's go over here. So this is a little bit of a test for you from last week as well. So you have all these words here. Come back. I want you to tell me, are these words, tell me which ones are the adjectives and which ones are the adverbs. And it should be pretty easy because we just did the adverbs. So tell me which ones are the adjectives and which ones are the adverbs. And I think if you were here last week, it should be even easier because we did only adjectives last week and we really focused on it. So if we start off, let's start with the first word, suspicious. Adjective or adverb. There we go. Adjective, good. Maybe. Happy, adjective. Happy is an adjective. You got it? Yeah, exactly. And that's what we looked at last week, right? What was that? We learned a few words like pricey. Vancouver, for example, is really pricey. Happy is another one with a Y. So let's see what else. So go ahead. Feel free to give me some answers, guys. I think it's pretty easy, right? Everything that you see, bright, adjective, good. For all the words have ly are adverbs. Yes. In this situation, they all are adverbs. But, and I'll show you, if you look a little bit lower, that there are a few that look kind of similar and they're a little bit confusing. Okay, so you got it. I think you guys got it already. Suspicious, adjective. Energetic, adjective. Happy, adjective. Careful, adjective. Bright, adjective. Social, adjective. And then all the ones with ly, suspiciously, energetically, happily, carefully, adverb, adverb, adverb. Okay? So most of the time, it's easy to see, oh, that's an adverb. It's got the ly. But we'll show you there are a few situations when you can't. Okay, so that was the answer here. How can we often know, not always, but how can we often know which words are adverbs of manner? Because of the ly. That means it's an adverb. Manner, we already talked about it. Manner means behavior. Carefully, quickly, quietly, all those, right? Next. This one's for you. And if you look at this one here, the president spoke to his people. Use this as. So I want you to use carefully. And if you look at the next one, it says there are 3 possible places. So you can put the adverb in 3 different places. Can you please tell me where can I put an adverb? So I want to use that sentence right there. The president spoke to his people. Now where can I put carefully? Should I put it at the beginning? Should I put it in this position or that position or that? There are 3 actual positions that you can put it in. Walid's got the first one. The president spoke to his people carefully. Very nice. That's the first position. You can put it at the end of the sentence. In this situation, you definitely can. So Bisma, you're right as well. At the end, you got it. The president spoke to his people. So it's kind of after the idea. And if you want to get grammatical, it's after the noun, right? So this is your noun, and the noun is after your verb, and we put it there. Next one. Okay, Vega says, carefully the president spoke to his people. Yeah, you could put it, you're right. You might make me change my answer to four positions. You could put it at the beginning as well. Okay, fine. I'm going to change it. There are actually 4 possible places you can put it. Give me the other 2. Ahmed says that the president spoke carefully to. Good. That's the other position, right? And that's the easy one because add to a verb, right? Plus to a verb. So the president spoke carefully to his people. And Ahmed's got the last one as well. The president carefully spoke. So you can put it, you could put it here. I'll write them in here just for you guys. Carefully, you could put it there. The president carefully spoke. You could put it there. So before the verb, after the noun, after the verb. It's getting a little messy here. And you could put it at the beginning of the sentence. I would say it's a little bit less common, this fourth position. And if you did put it there, though, you want to put that comma. So like that. Put that comma there, and you could put carefully at the beginning of the sentence. So there are essentially 4 positions you could put those adverbs. Which ones are the most popular? I'd probably say after the verb or after the noun. But honestly, sometimes it's the grammar which decides where it is. If it's too far away, it's not good. You want to keep it close. So if you get a really long sentence and you put carefully and it's really far at the end, that's probably not the right location. You probably bring it back closer to the verb. Okay, awesome. Let's go on here. All right, this one's a little harder, I think. Look at this sentence. There are only two possible places to put an adverb of manner. Now let me see. There might, I might be wrong. There might be more than 2. But can you guys tell me what are some possible locations where you could put carefully in this sentence? And just use the sentence we did before for a similar idea. What are some possible places where you could put carefully? After talked. Good. So again, this is an easy position to remember, right? After the verb, you can use talked, of course. Good. Give me another position. What's another one? So after talked is the first one. Do we have any other positions we could use it as well? Awesome, Pilar, you got it. Carefully talked. Good. Judith, you got it as well. Yeah. And then Walid says, after people, he talked about the need for his people carefully to be mindful. All right. Now this is why I put this sentence up here. Listen to it again. He talked about the need for his people carefully to be mindful. Now for me, that sounds bad. If I put it, now the position, if you look at the other sentence, it should work, right? Because it's after, that's a little bit too far. So if you put it, let me give you another example. He talked about the need, even if you put it here, honestly, this is not good. So I'm not going to put that. So even if you put it after the need, for me, it's getting too far away from, usually adverbs stay close to verbs, right? That makes sense, add to verb. So in this situation, I actually wouldn't say that. He talked about the need carefully. It's actually too far. So in some situations in English, maybe it's because of that preposition about. Maybe that's what changes it. But for me, I would keep those first 2 positions, and those would be safe. Carefully mindful, I don't think you could use it in that situation because it's a manner adverb. It's not, and we don't really use, if you said really mindful, that would be okay. Where was that? Okay, anyways, I'm not sure where that went. It disappeared. But if you said really mindful, that's okay. But carefully mindful, probably not. So some verbs we can use together, and some verbs we can't. Okay, so just be careful with that. There are positions that are good, and don't get too far away from the verb. I think that's kind of the rule. All right, next up, here. And this is a little bit of a lesson from last week. So for you guys who were here last week, maybe you recognize some of these words. What is strange about here? What is unusual about these words? Why do some of them have a star next to them? Okay, so if you look at beastly, brotherly, and I'll give you some easy words. Lively, lonely, lovely. What kinds of words are those? Are they adverbs, or are they something else, or are they both? What do you guys think? Walid, you got it? All of them are adjectives. Good, so correct. So you can say, for example, a lonely person, right? Adjective. A lovely man, a lovely woman, a manly man. So those are all adjectives. Now, what about the ones with the stars? Some of them have stars. I'm trying to make a star here. What about those ones? Are they adverbs? Are they adjectives? Or are they both? So if I say, for example, a cowardly man, or sorry, not cowardly. Why is cowardly starred? I think it's daily is the one I want. Thank you, Walid, you got it. Adjectives and adverbs. So, you can say, I work daily. And if you put daily after work, it's an adverb. But if you say, I have daily work, and you put daily before work, then it's an adjective. So unfortunately, in English, some of these things can be a little bit confusing. But so those words are both. The ones with the stars are both. And they're usually about time, fortnightly. Leisurely is a weird one. You can use it both. Cowardly, yeah, cowardly. Okay, that's why. You can use it in both situations. All right, and this one is just more of a mind opener than anything. How many adverbs are in this sentence here? So today we're talking about adverbs. We're only talking about one kind of adverb today, but we're also going to be looking at, how many kinds of adverbs are there? There's quite a few. So if I say, I often slowly drank very good coffee here last month, how many adverbs are in that sentence? And please tell me which ones they are. So you can tell me tell me which ones. Tell me where are the adverbs. So we have different kinds of adverbs in English. So Walid says often, slowly, very, last. Okay. And are there any more? Got almost all of them. No, Sauron, there's a lot more. There's a lot more than one. There are different kinds of adverbs. So the ones we're talking about today are the ly ones, right? Which are the ones we always say, oh yeah, adverb, adverb, adverb. But actually there's a lot. Correct, Walid, you got the last one. It's here. So they're all actually adverbs. Why are they all adverbs? Because most of them modify the verb, right? Sorry, I'll slow it down, Pilar, you got it. Okay, so let's go through it. Often. Okay, so that's the first one. I often drink. I often drank, right? So how often? So again, it's modifying the verb. I often drink. Okay. Slowly. Okay, and we already did that one. That's the easy one, right? The ly. So I drink slowly. I drink carefully. I often drink carefully. So we got different kinds. Next one. We have those adverbs that also modify the adjectives. Very good, super good, incredibly good, right? All those. Next, here is an adverb to talk about location. Okay, so here, there. So I am, or I work here. So again, mostly what adverbs do is they connect to verbs. So where do you work? I work here. We are learning about adverbs of manner, but we just want to show you all the other kinds because there's a lot actually, and it might get it. So if you know that there's more adverbs in English, it might help you to say, oh, okay, is that an adverb? Is that an adverb? And the last one, you can think of this whole expression as kind of, you can consider it one adverb, right? So again, this one is time, last month, all that. Okay? Yeah, exactly, JB, exactly. Okay, so what are the different types? So we just looked at some crazy sentence. You shouldn't write like that. It sounds weird. But there are different types of adverbs. What's the first type? And the first one here, what is the first type of adverb that we have? So remember, there are 5. Often, slowly, very, here, and last month. You can consider them all adverbs because most of them connect to the verbs. What's the first type of adverb? Frequency. I often go. I usually go, right? Those normal ones. I sometimes go. Number 2, correct. You got it, Walid. Are the manner adverbs. So these are the ones that we're going to focus on today. I worked quickly. I worked slowly. Number 3 are degree. Degree adverbs. Very good, super good, somewhat good, kind of good. You can think of all those as adverbs because they go before the adjective. Next one, we have place or location, whatever you want, right? Here, there, those kinds. And last one, time. Okay, so if you thought, what are all these words? Yeah, they're nouns and whatever, but actually a lot of words we use in English are adverbs because they kind of give us an idea of time or place or how much or the way, quickly, slowly, or frequency. Okay, and the last one of this incredibly crazy grammar challenge. How many adverbs, or sorry, what are the two? There are two types of adverbs in this. I see some people are on it. Muaz is on it already. Very nice. So we have very quickly, two adverbs. What is the first one and what is the second one? So think about, because we can use those two things together. He drinks beer very quickly. Good for him. Okay, how does he drink beer? Very quickly. So we have manner, correct, was the quickly. And then the other one is your degree. Very good, you know, super good. Okay, so sometimes we can use those two things together. And both of them, so very modifies the quickly and quickly modifies the drink. So he drinks quickly, he drinks slowly. I could even make that easier, right? I don't even need beer. So he drinks very quickly, and that's perfect. Because quickly connects to the drinks and very connects to the quickly and gives it some degree. Okay, so there you go. We've learned a lot about them. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit you with a whole bunch of stuff. So go to the bottom. I want you guys to scroll down. We'll come back to that other page, but here we go. Take a look at this list. I'm going to go through a few of these. These are all adverbs of manner. So you can see they all have the ly, so that's the easy thing we're going to do today. But you can see a lot of them can be used, and again, they can be used after the verb. They hit accidentally, or they accidentally hit, right? So you can use it before that verb or after that verb, or you could use it after the noun as well. So remember those three positions we did at the top? That's basically what you can use all these things with today. So I want you guys to take a little scroll, read through that list. I'll do a few for you. They're all adverbs of manner list, and then we're going to get into a little bit of writing. So I know some people were interested in doing a little bit of writing, so we'll do a little bit of that with using these things. And again, I think you know the meaning of most of them. Accidentally, of course, it's an accident. Angrily, you are angry. Anxiously, nervous, when you feel nervous. Awkwardly, you know, for example, he walked into the door. Awkwardly is when he's kind of not sure or not comfortable, like, you know, strange. You can think of awkwardly as kind of strangely or unusually as well. Let's see, I need another document. Here you go, Karam. There you go. So it's right at the bottom of that document. Okay, badly, beautifully, yeah, you know those words. Blindly, you can't see anything. So he walked into the door blindly. Boldly means really strong, like you have a lot of courage. Similar to bravely, very similar. Brightly, the light was shining brightly, or the sun was shining brightly, but not in Vancouver because it's all gone and it's all winter. Time to hit the mountains, do some snowboarding. What else we got? Busily. Okay, I think you know that. Calm, right? Relax. Carefully, carelessly. So if you guys have any questions, I mean, this is a big list of a lot of words, but if you have any questions, please ask me. I'll do my best to explain. Also use Google. Google is a good resource to have. He can teach you a lot of stuff, or she can teach you a lot of stuff, or Siri. But there's a lot of stuff here. So I'd like you guys to, today is the day where I want you to take these adverbs of manner, and we're gonna work on them, and we're gonna try to do a little storytelling. I don't know if you guys like writing stories, but that's what we're gonna do today. It's going to be fun. I'm going to take you back to kindergarten where you get the creativity to create. All right, so if you guys don't have any questions about that, there's a lot of words here. Look at some of them. Maybe you know that word in another way, like fool, stupid. Fondly means I really like something, like he looked at her fondly. Faithfully, when you have a lot of faith in something, right? You believe in something. Frankly means honestly. Greedily means you want a lot of something, like, for example, people who love money. Greedily. Rightfully, not sure, maybe I'm not sure how we would use rightfully as an adverb. Rightfully, to me it doesn't sound like an adverb we would use all the time. Obediently, yep, sure, exactly, right? He listened to his parents obediently, and like always following the rules, right? Let's see what else we got. Inadequately, that's a good one. Not enough, right? So he did the test inadequately. All right, now, so these are some things we can use. Now, why do we use these? We can often use these to give a little bit more information, right? Like if he was running, how was he running? Oh, he was running quickly. He was running cautiously, or whatever. So kind of adverbs are useful to give us some more information. So that's what we're going to look at today. So what we can do, I got some ideas. I got some story starters for you. But let's go up and let's look at this thing first here. Bum, 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 bum. Just because this can be a point of confusion. So take a look at this section here. Just I want to show you the difference between the two, and then you guys are going to do some writing. So look at these two. On the left side, it says adverbs of manner, right here. An adverb of manner usually has one meaning. He was trained specially, okay? Specially, of course, meaning in a particular or unique way. But sometimes you can change that word, and you can say he was especially good. And if you use especially good, so if you use it in the first position, it's after the verb, and in the second position, it's before the adjective. If you change those positions, but it's the same word, sometimes you change the meaning of the word. This one's a better example. Let's look at this one here. Okay, so number one, manner, behavior. So the first one on the left side, which one? The left side is manner. Okay, so he behaved, he acted, yeah, he behaved terribly. And again, behave is an action verb. We only use action verbs. So don't use the be verb with adverbs of manner. We don't usually do that. We'll just use action verbs. So he behaved terribly, and terribly means bad. But if you look at there, I'm terribly sorry, that's not the same. Terribly sorry means really, or very, very. Okay, so I'm very, very, very sorry. You can say I'm terribly sorry, but it doesn't mean bad. It just means really. So if you say I'm horribly sorry, or you wouldn't say I'm horribly happy. That's kind of weird. But you can see that there are some words where you can use, and you can change the position. So you can put them before the adjective, and they have a totally different meaning. Usually they just mean really. So if you say I'm terribly sorry, it means you are really, really, really sorry for doing something. But if you say he behaved terribly, then that's different. That means bad. Okay, so just be careful with that, just to show you the difference there. So here's what we're going to do. It's story time, and I want you guys to, let's see, shall we do this one here? No, maybe I'll give you guys, if you want, you could use this one here. You could use the one that I was working on. Continue the wonderful story of Pooh walking through the forest and finding his dead friend. Or I'll give you the guys, maybe I'll give you guys these ones. Let's go here, because we're going to run out of time pretty fast doing this kind of stuff. So here's what we can do. All these ones here, I want you guys to choose one of these, and I want you to create a little bit of a story, maybe one sentence or two sentences, to add a little bit more to the story. So for example, let's see here. And of course, you're going to use adverbs of manner when you're doing it. Vanessa asks, can I say I'm terribly happy? Yes, you can. It sounds weird, right? But you can. You can say I'm. It's some of them we usually say, right? Like if you say I'm terribly sorry, that's really normal. We always say that, especially in Canada, because we're really polite people in Canada. Not me, but other Canadians. So we say I'm terribly sorry means you are really, really, really sorry. If you said I'm terribly happy, that one might not be perfect, right? It might not be a great collocation. You're right, JB. It is a little weird, but remember, we're not using it in the manner way. We're not saying bad. We're just using it to intensify the adjective, like super. If you say I'm super happy, or I'm okay, maybe happy is not a good example. Sorry is the best example I got. Okay, how about this? I think there is a connection here. I think we do use, for example, terribly with bad things. I'm terribly sorry. Sorry means you're apologizing, right? So it's kind of a bad situation. I'm terribly unhappy. That would work. We wouldn't say terribly happy, but we would say terribly unhappy. Extremely happy does work, Judas. You're right. Sorry, Radwa. I'll slow it down a little bit. I do that. I get carried away. But what we're saying is, I think you're right. There's probably a connection here. So if you said terribly sorry, terribly unhappy, terribly angry, all of those are perfect. So when you choose your adverb, and terribly is a good one, horribly is a good one, just be careful what is the adjective you use. It probably it should be a negative adjective. I'm sure there's examples where it's not, but just from thinking about it, that's probably the connection, is negative with negative. Exactly, Judith. Terribly anxious, perfect. Nice combination. And start using these, right? Yeah, buddy. Yeah, that too. But yeah, start using these combinations, you know. So here's what we're going to do today. So I want you guys to choose one. And what we're going to do, you guys are going to write, you're going to create a little bit more to this story, and then I'm going to share these on the page here, and we'll correct any mistakes if there are any mistakes, and we want to look at you using adverbs. So I'll start with the first one. I'll start with my story. Everything went wrong. I didn't mean to kill her. I tried. I worked. What can I say? I didn't mean to kill her. I calmly tried to reason with her. But she just wouldn't listen. Okay, it changes to, change that to he. He just wouldn't listen. I'm going to change it to a guy, just cause. Okay, I calmly tried to reason with him, but he just wouldn't listen. I pleaded with him. Pleaded with him. Pleaded with him. How can I say? Pleaded with him. Maybe don't pleaded with him. Okay, I calmly tried to reason. So here's my first one. I'll show you the first one that I put. And I put it before. And a little bit of this is style, right? So everything went wrong. I didn't mean to kill him. I calmly tried to reason with him. So how did you try? I calmly tried. Or you could say I tried calmly to reason with him, or I tried to reason with him calmly. And all of those are pretty good. So a little bit of it is style that you can do. But he just wouldn't listen. Finally, I had enough of his whining and complaining. And suddenly found myself with my hands on his neck. Oh, gruesome. Gruesome. All right, there we go. Okay, so that's what I've done. This is my story, all here. And even you can see I use another kind of adverb. I use finally as well, right? Okay, but you can see I've got two. Okay, so what I want you guys to do, you can choose any of these. So this one right here, right? The icy fingers one, or this one here. These are all different stories. So you can choose any of them. And I want you guys to write a little bit of a story, and I want you to put a few, and again, not too many. Don't use too many because it might be too much. But take one adverb of manner, throw it in there, and another, and another. Okay, so Judith has a story already. Let's see what she has. Story time. All right, so let's see what Judith has here. I'm going to try to make that. Everything went wrong. I didn't mean to kill her, but she continued. So again, good. You got it, Judith. Just going to add that D there because it's a story in the past, right? So she continued the same way. I will lost my cool manner and become extremely anxious about everything. She continued the same way. And maybe, I'm not sure what you exactly how you want, but maybe I'll say, and I lost my cool manner, you know, my controlled manner, and became extremely anxious. Okay, so you're using a different kind of adverb, which is okay. But I want you to try to use some adverbs of manner today. So cautiously, slowly, convincingly, right? I want you to try to use something like that in your writing. But this one is okay. This would be your degree, right? Really anxious, kind of anxious. Okay, so these are all your options. please choose one of these, and I want you guys to do your best. So do like Judith, try to create a story about one of these ideas. So you can use this. Icy fingers gripped my arm in the darkness. Or walking through the graveyard, you know, with the cemetery where people are put to sleep, put to rest. It felt like something was watching me. So which one would you guys want? Maybe, if you want, I can choose one for you. Maybe we'll use this one, and I'll just modify it a little bit. How about this one here? Icy fingers. So cold fingers grabbed me in the darkness. I shook suddenly. Oh no, I shook. How would I shake? I shook. I trembled. Trembled is when you're really scared. You kind of get the shakes going on. I trembled nervously. There you go. Aha, nervously. Okay, so again, there's my adverb of manner. All right. So there we go. I trembled nervously. I turned slowly. Only to see only to see my brother laughing. What a jerk. Boom. Okay, so there we go. I used another one there. I got 2 adverbs of manner, and just using that to improve my story. Okay, so what do you guys have here? Does anyone else have anything that they can work on? Seems me, I'm writing all the stories. Do you guys have any stories in here? It's just going to be me writing stories all day, which is cool. I don't mind writing stories. Let's see what else we can do here. So we got that one there. All right, that's cool. If you guys have one, throw it up. Put it into the chat, and I'll throw it up on the screen here. Maybe this takes a little while, right? It takes a little while to think of some ideas and start using these adverbs together. But while you're doing that, I will do my best to entertain you with my own weird brand of storytelling. Winnie the Pooh, friends murdered with a carrot. I don't know. Here we go. Aha. Good, good, good. Pilar's got one. Let's see what she's got. Okay, let's throw that up. Oops. All right, let's see what Pilar says. All right, wandering through the graveyard. It felt like something was watching me. So I walked. Okay, cool. We're just going to change that. So remember, whenever you're using a verb, the first verb should be in the past. So what we're going to do is we're going to change keep to kept. And unfortunately, one of the hard things you have to learn about English is that sometimes we need an ing verb after. And this is one of those situations where you have to say, unfortunately, kept walking. But I was terribly scared. Okay, interesting. So you didn't use an adverb of manner, you used an adverb of degree. You just took terribly and used it in the other way, which is okay. Got that as well. That's cool. And I decided to run very fast. Good. And the last part, you did use to. So here's your adverb of manner, right? Very fast, very quickly. And unfortunately, you can see some of these adverbs, they don't follow the rules. But fast is an adverb of manner. It doesn't have the ly, but it is an adverb of manner. And then she used also another adverb of degree together. So she kind of used those 2 adverbs together. Very nice. Okay, and one other thing, remember, same rule as before, Pilar. If you have a past verb, the first verb is past, and the second verb is not past. So decided to run. So change ran to run, and then you're good. Okay, so just the first one. But very nice, good sentence. Let's see, Richard's got one. Let's see. Let's see what he's got. So I accidentally take his keys and suddenly hit me. Okay, cool. Accidentally, good. So you got your adverb of manner, awesome. Good combination, accidentally take. But again, the story, usually when we tell a story, when did the story happen? Happened in the past. So we're going to change take just to took, and then we're good. So I accidentally took his keys, and he suddenly hit me. Perfect. That's perfect, yeah. So there you go. We got two adverbs. And again, when did he hit you? Suddenly. There we go. Awesome. Great story, Richard. Next one. See how else we got. Judith has another. Let's throw this one up. Let's see what she's got here. All right. So again, icy fingers grip my arm in the darkness. I see a man. And again, same thing. Probably stories are usually in the past. So we're just going to change that to saw. When did you see? I saw a man in the dark who stepped closer and closer to my chilling, nerve-wracking body. Okay, cool. Let's see. All right, so good. I think racking is just going to spell wait a second. How do you spell racking? Nerve-wracking. Uh-oh. Do I need to Google? I guess I do. Nerve-wracking. I don't know how to spell that. N-E-V-R. There we go, with an A, of course. Okay. So nerve-wracking just with an A and then a C-K. Okay, so he stepped closer and closer to my chilling, nerve-wracking body. Good. Very nice. Not no adverb manners in there, but definitely there's some opportunity. But other than that, it's good. Good sentence there. Let's see. Karam's got one. Let's check this out. That nice picture of Karam. So again, same deal. Wandering through the graveyard, it felt like something was watching me. But regardless of this horror, I kept on walking carefully. And then I kept on walking carefully to go out of the cemetery. So they're just missing that. To go out of the cemetery. Cool. Yeah, perfect. Good. Walking carefully. So again, you can see we don't use them all the time, but we do kind of throw them in there just to give you a little bit more information. Some people might use verbs instead. If you know more verbs, you might not need the carefully, but these are really useful as well because you can kind of just throw them in at any time and get a bit more of a story. Okay, so I think, unless anyone has any more, I think I'll just kind of look over here. And again, let me show you a few examples. So this is one of the activities that I had planned. And this one's pretty straightforward, where you can just use adverbs of manner to improve your speech in any way. So for example, my father works hard. And again, hard is not your traditional. Oh, Bisma's got one. Okay, let's do one more with Bisma, and then we'll go on to this. All right, let's see this. Stories are good. Okay. Okay, so icy fingers gripped my arms in the darkness as I was walking along the deserted road on my own. It scared me badly. Badly, not bad. I might just change that to terribly, right? Like, badly, maybe badly doesn't sound strong enough. Maybe we want to make it sound a little. So I'm just going to increase it a little bit. It scared me terribly. That I even lost my voice and started shivering badly. Okay, so again, badly and badly. So maybe we'll just replace, we'll change. Maybe instead of saying badly and badly, we'll change horribly, right? Because it's a similar meaning. I don't know, stories we always want to elaborate, we always want to exaggerate a little bit, right? So horribly, terribly, horribly, and then boom, you got it. Two adverbs of manner, immediately done. Shivering badly, terribly, yeah, those work as well. So scared me terribly. That I even, I don't know if I would use that. I might put a comma and just do an easier way. I might say, I think we need something here so much that I don't know. I think we need that that extra information. That so much that it scared me so much. It scared me terribly, so much that I even lost my voice and started to shiver. And I'm just going to change shivering to shiver. Because if you have the to, Bisma, usually it's not an ing in this kind of situation. When you have verb to verb, it's usually not an ing on the second one. It's usually just the normal way, the infinitive. Okay, started to shiver horribly, and then we're all good. Everything looks good there. All right, guys, so I think, like I said, that's really it. It's just these things can be used to kind of give you a little bit more information. My father works hard. Number 2, my friends, or my friend talks openly. So again, I'm not just using, quickly, slowly. There's some other ones out there as well. My friend talks openly about their personal problems, meaning like they share a lot of information, right? If you go down, go down, there's a lot more, right? Here we go. So sternly is like kind of like strongly, right? So maybe when you were younger, you got in trouble. Oh, of course, my father maybe speaks, or my father spoke. Not anymore, I'm too old, Dad. You don't control me. But let's say my father spoke sternly when he was angry at me. So sternly is kind of like pretty direct and strong. So there's another word you can use, because sometimes you speak differently, sometimes quickly, sometimes sternly. JB says, I thought start can be followed by both verb forms, infinitive or gerund. Yes, you're right, JB, but if you use to, then you have to choose the infinitive form. So for example, start to like English, good, but you cannot say, or start liking English, okay, but you cannot say start to liking English. You can only choose. I was kind of like mixing the two, so that's why. So you're right, you can use to plus an infinitive or an ing with some verb, so you are right. Okay, for example, my students promptly, like quickly, and punctually on time arrive for class each day. Ha ha ha, I wish doesn't happen. Number 5, my teacher dresses nicely and neatly. Number 6, the students enthusiastically, that's wrong, that's not right. Enthusiastically repeated. I think that's what I wanted to say. Yeah, that was my verb. There we go. That's what I wanted to say. My students enthusiastically repeated answers. Repeated answers to question. Oh, this is bad. This is bad. It's embarrassing, guys. The hero died bravely in the movie Braveheart. Of course, Braveheart. Okay, I remember my childhood fondly, like with a lot of good memory. Lady Gaga sings beautifully. I write frantically when I have a big test, right? Like write crazy. Frantically means crazy. Okay, so again, you can just use these adverbs and you can throw them in there and they kind of improve a little bit about the way you describe things. Okay, so I think that's pretty much the lesson for today. So like I said, if you were there last week, we looked a lot about at adjectives and how to use them. And this week we looked at adverbs of manner, mostly. And remember, that's only one kind. There's 4 other kinds that you can kind of get some experience in and start learning how to use it. And when you know the position, then it's easier. And then you go, oh, I can put that there and I can put that there. And like I said, eventually you won't need me anymore. You'll be able to do all this stuff yourself. So obviously self-learn and kind of learn the system in English, right? Because if you didn't grow up in English-speaking country, you kind of have to catch up to the rest of us. This is a good way by kind of becoming really good at it. So yes, so here's everything you got today. You have a lot of information. You got some stories that you could practice on. And I think most importantly, you got this big list, right? You got this big list at the end. So look at a few of those, because probably you know a lot of those words already. But now you just learned how to use them as an adverb. So boom, there you go. You just got more variety and everything. So if you guys have any questions, I'll hang around in the chat for a bit, but I think that's it for today. I think we got through kind of what we wanted to do, adverbs of manner, how to use them, what are the different positions you can use them in, and how they can really improve a story or improve your speaking by giving more detail about the verbs, right? Modifying the verbs, or in some cases adjectives as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed the lesson. Feel free to shoot me some messages and tell me what's something you might be interested in learning. I kind of just come here and I'll give you a few ideas about what I think usually helps my students as well, or some things which might challenge you a little bit to work on your own English. But I am open to ideas, so if you feel like there's something which would be really useful for you, please let me know. and we can look at it as well. So take this list, do some practice, use it in your English, use it in your writing, because it's really useful for writing. Well, it's useful for speaking as well. But I think that's it from me today. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll hang out in the chat for a little bit, chat with a few of you guys. And if you have a story you want me to check, I can hang around and check it for you. And I think that's it. So if you guys are not having any more questions, we'll see you next time, same place, and have a great week. See you next week. Okay? So I'll hang out if you guys have any questions, but other than that, we'll see you guys next time. Have a great one. Bye-bye.